This thing says I'm alive. Josie, Dale, Ginger. Who else been in here?
Sandy.
Sammy. He probably came in and left out, be back after a while.
Yeah.
That usually seems to be his M.O., his modus operandi.
Yeah, that thing.
So how's everybody doing now this Sunday night?
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday evening. Crazy day!
Hey, Teresa. Hey, Dale. Hey, Josie.
Well,
There's Ginger.
yeah, I saw her.
Yeah,
I hollered out her name.
Yeah, she just popped back up.
You going live tonight, Dale? We get 2 days off this next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Those of y'all watched my video yesterday would probably already know that. Getting the gas tank down. We're going to stop on the way back. All right, Dale. Stop on the way back and get some fuel additive and fill her up. We'll probably be down to about a quarter or less in the tank. And I'm just about resolved that stuff is clearing up most of the problem I've got with the car. But we are going to look into a fuel filter. You get it through Amazon or parts stores, you're paying $75-$80 for that thing. Giant. It's always expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I've looked up on one of the two websites that girl at the shop gave me, and they're like 50 something. That's still expensive, but it's a lot better than $75-$80. So then I got to get me a 33 millimeter socket to take care of that. If it ain't that, may do the coil pack and plugs next. But through that site, the coil pack ain't but about $45. About 150, 200 other places. If it ain't that, I'll still have to do those sensors. Yeah, Dale, it's big. It's about a good quarter of the diameter of the whole casing for the fuel filter. Fuel filter about that big, from what I can tell looking at video. That nut on there about like that. See how I got y'all to do that? I don't know what that's about, but
I have no idea.
But I figured I'd cover that territory while it was there. Just for the fun of it.
Sorry about that.
And like I said, no idea what that's all about. But there it was, so there I did. God, I couldn't afford that. Let's just put it this way. I don't know when the last time that thing was changed, but if it ever was, it would have to have been before we got it, because it ain't been changed since we've had it. So I think when it lurches, that fuel additive is causing stuff to come out that fuel filter and get in the way of the firing, and so therefore you get a lurch. So I'm hoping that if I can get a filter and am able to pull off getting it changed, I still got to call that girl and see what it would be to get them to change it out, filter and all, versus what it would cost for them to just put it in. I get the filter. Because they get it in there. It wouldn't take them 15 minutes. Because at the back right passenger door, up underneath there, little cover with some plastic nuts holding that cover on. Take that off. There the filter is. You unscrew it. Clean it out. Place a couple of O-rings. Put the new filter in. Put it back in. And there you go. My problem is getting it up. I could get it up. I could get it up enough to where I could get under it. But getting down there and getting back up, going to be awful hard on this old disabled, messed up debacle of a man. But I'm going to get those prices and see. Brian, howdy. See if I can do it. Because if I can do it and that solves the problem, we good to go. And usually as long as I don't gun it, there's no problem. Sometimes, especially going up the hill, you give it that little bit of extra gas and it'll up on the RPMs and there you go. But otherwise, I can just ease it up to 3,000-4,000 RPM. They're usually no problem. So, well, here lately, y'all know my big thing. Talk about all stuff that's going on. But I'm going to preface it with the court of public opinion. As y'all know, welcome back, Teresa J. As y'all know, what opinions are like. Everybody got one, and they all stink. Most people will take a little bit of information and run with it, bring up a whole bunch of stuff, based off that little tidbit, build a whole story around it. James Michener would do that with his books. He'd study a little bit of history and he'd write a book on it. One of his books was, I forget the name of it, I think it's The Tale. Talking about the tales that they have over in Israel and such places where the cities are built up on. Those cities are built up on previous civilizations. And as they fall, they get leveled out, and they build another one, and then build another one, and then another one. Well, this one alleged archaeological site they dug down. They finally got to the very bottom. And at the very bottom was a monolith. It's supposed to be like 1 million years old. But there was a monolith down there, about 20 foot high. And it was the center of their worship. And every center of worship on each preceding level going up was directly on top of that one monument. The altars, no less, of each new center of worship was built right there on top of where that monolith was. I'm up there! So James Mentioner made a story, wrote a book based off of that one little tidbit. Well, that's what happens when people get a little bit of news and don't wait until it's been investigated and all the facts come out before expressing an opinion on it. Folks, that's what we got going on today. Last many years. When everything gets all screwed up and convoluted. The biggest thing, in my opinion right now, is that thing with the signal chat. How did that happen? Well, obviously, there's still some old guard still trying to cause problems. The interesting thing of note was they already had a case against it set up and ready to go. So somebody planted that in there. But it's going to backfire on them in the end, because it's going to come out who planted that, who made that possible for one of the worst journalists out there to be a part of that. The reason it's going to backfire, because number one, it already shows that there are leaks. I'm going to put a bet out there on this. Trump and his team already knew there's some things like that waiting for them. So when it was noticed there was somebody else in there, even though it was under another name, they were all sitting there thinking, they took the bait. So they run with it. That's why they didn't talk about anything that was classified, because they knew. You know, we're talking about folks with brains, folks, that makes ours look pathetic. And they're about 20 steps ahead of their enemies. So it'll come out who actually did it and who they're working for, just like that Boasberg feller. You know, he's affiliated with leftist organizations. His wife and daughter work for organizations that are sponsored, that are paid for by USAID, that benefit from having illegals here. That judge should step down from the bench, because there's no way he can be impartial to anything. Another thing interesting of note, backtrack of note, is that it's supposed to be a random process what judge gets those cases, and it's rather amazing that within a week or a month, Boasberg has gotten the last 4 that was for Trump. It's statistically impossible for that to happen. So, it's obvious what's going on. Given time, it'll come out. Given time, I hope to see people either in Gitmo or down there with them in El Salvador with them gang members. Yeah, because Zelensky doesn't want to give up. But I can guarantee you, Putin won't fail when he goes after Zelensky in the same way. I guarantee you that's going to happen. Putin going to be like, okay, that's how you want to play? All right, I got you. Putin been playing that game a lot longer than any of them. You know, he comes from the days of the KGB. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't actually understand that, Mama Bear. But yeah, I've heard about his limousine getting toasted. Oh, what's that, Teresa J. being put in prison? When you're dealing with nefarious personas like the ones we see, they're pure evil. They are more evil than the gang members because they sit back in the shadows and they marionette everything and put others up to doing their dirty work. Add to that they are traitors to their nation. They ain't supposed to be but one sentence for that, with 2 ways of accomplishing that sentence. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Josie. But anyway, being put down there with them types of people would be a living alternative to what they should be getting according to the law. If convicted, and I'm sure they would be. The only way we're going to get convictions is we get impartial judges on those benches and get rid of these that have been put in there just for these types of situations so that the communist agenda could still be fulfilled. Because trust me, everything that's going on from the left side are communist tactics. Put up what the left wants, compare it to what communists have and always want. You'll find a lot of similarities. Big government, no rights, no freedom of speech, much less the Second Amendment. Right, Dale? Right? Not necessarily, Josie. We got a couple of things that Denver China can't touch yet. Mama Linda! But Josie, we likely ain't going to be here for that. There's evidence in the Bible that the United States be nothing but a torched mess by the time all that comes about. We won't be here. Whether by rapture or kaboom, we won't be here. So, and then it's going to be between I bet it is. That's not fun, Mama Linda. So, and then it's going to be in between all those countries over there. We won't be there. According to something that someone I watched once pointed out, I thought about it, looked into it, and I'm like, yep, he's right. We won't be here. And ultimately, that's what all this stuff is leading up to, is bringing all that about. We might have a week. We might have another 10 years. I don't know. But it's coming. But anyway, the court of public opinion gets everything misconstrued. Everybody going off of just a little bit, making uneducated guesses about everything else to put it together because it seems right to them. But they're basing it off an unrighteous judgment. They've not taken all the factors into account. Then we got a mess like we do today. The left loves to deal in confusion. Who's the master of confusion? That tells you whom they serve. Now, that's not all Dems. There's a lot of good people out there on the Democrat side. They've just been misled. Yeah, it's sad, but, at the same time, I'm like the Bible says, even so, Lord, come. Let's wrap this thing up. How's that, Josie? Well, Mama Bear, the Bible states they're children of wrath just as they are children of God. Make sure you get it right before everything wraps up. That's what you pray for. All right, Josie, I'm waiting on an explanation on that. Well, see, that's the thing about President Trump. He's not actually a politician. He's a businessman, and that's what he's doing is he's going at this thing like a businessman. What's the first thing you do when you go into a business? You look for the waste. You look for the fraud. You look for those who are trying to tear it down. That's what he's doing. like Elon said, when you go after that fraud and waste, who are the ones that are going to cry the loudest? The ones who are doing the defrauding. Who's crying the loudest? All them damn politicians up there. They like to claim, oh, they're going to cut all these people who need this and that and the other thing off of it, and it's going to be a terrible thing. No, the only one getting cut off of it is the fraudsters. And those fraudsters are making all these claims, trying to cause an uproar because they're the ones that's going to lose out on a lot of money because they've been stealing a lot of money through all this fraud. So, and Teresa J., I wouldn't wish none of that on anybody, but here's the thing. It's just like you got a job. Somebody gets fired because they weren't doing the job. Why did they get fired? They got themselves fired for not doing the job or for screwing everything up. But the company had no choice but to let them go. So they get themselves fired. Well, the same way with what a lot of those left politicians are doing. They're doing a lot of illegal things. They wind up in Gitmo or El Salvador and that place down there, or worse. It's their own fault. They did it to themselves. I haven't looked much into that. I've heard about it, Mama Bear, but I think they are mistaking May 2026 for this coming May. But like I said, I hadn't looked a whole lot into that, and the mainstream media is running with it like it's going to be this May.
What's that?
Elon stepping down.
Yeah, this May.
This May?
It is this May. What I heard was that it's 100. He is to be a non-paid, government worker. He can only work for 130 days. Well, otherwise he has to.
He's still already found almost $1 trillion in fraud and waste, so yeah. That meets his goal.
Yeah, he knew going in it was going to be over in May.
Okay. Well, that's fine too. He's already pretty much reached his goal. He's already uncovered enough fraud and abuse. If they can start, Bondi can start doing some prosecution. And as they start, there's going to be some folks start singing like little birdies to try and cut a deal. So, either way, we still win. Because you also got to figure they'll be working underneath somebody who they've had to been answering to begin with. Because he just makes reports and makes suggestions. It's somebody else in Trump's cabinet that has been making the decisions to cut here, do away with this here, and all that. You know, not being what's left to try to make it out to be that Elon's one been doing the firing and the cutting. No, it's somebody in Trump's cabinet. So even if he comes back paid or brings his team back paid, they'd still be answering to a legitimate overseer. All right, Mama Linda, don't know what you're talking about.
Linda.
Yeah. All right, Mama Linda, I'm not making any sense out of what you're trying to tell me.
Probably have her teeth done on Tuesday instead of Monday. Because I went back up and she's talking about losing teeth.
Yeah, I know that, but here she's talking about in White House right now. He is going to be doing something Tuesday. His cabinet and others in that house there are up in arms what he going to be doing on that day Tuesday. I got no clue, Mama Linda.
Tuesday's, that's the first, ain't it? Not the second. I know something's supposed to be going on the second.
Yeah, that's when the tariffs go into effect.
Okay.
Anyway, y'all can see just on this little bit right here an example of court of public opinion. Things being said that's going off of just a little bit. I don't walk the floors in that house, so he is going to be doing some major things Tuesday. Mama Linda, are you on some painkillers? That might explain some things. Okay, so just the pain. Because I honestly, hon, I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. Or are you doing a little something else for the pain? Wouldn't blame you if you did. That kind of pain can be bad.
Yeah, we know about that tooth pain.
Mama Bear, if you figure it out, enlighten me. I ain't got a clue. This also goes back to what I've said in the past about being more precise in our language. So, anyway, that's how some things can get messed up. Josie talking about us not being able to win against Russia. Yeah, we could. But that's not how things are meant to go down. Because shit phone. Okay. Apparently she got a phone bothering her. Because when all that stuff's going down, America won't even be in existence. It will be burnt. Go up in flames. So, as I said, whether by rapture or kaboom, we ain't got to worry about it. We won't be here for it. Hopefully by rapture. But if it's by kaboom, like I said, we live just close enough to some things all around my area, we might have time to see the flash. Maybe not. We might hear the whistling, just be trying to figure out what that is, and be looking down and say, "Oh, okay, that's what that was." Yeah, Dale. And on that note, I really, really, really hope I am one of the ones to get to come back with him on a white horse for some fun. You know what I'm talking about. Get to whoop up on some demon butt. But if all he has for me is to be going along sweeping the streets of gold, not that there'd be anything to sweep up. That's all he got for me. I'd be satisfied with that tape. As I understand it, when he comes back on his white horse, it's supposed to be untold millions coming with him on white horses. Get to come down and play whoop some demon butt. As well as the evil that still remains here. I'd like that. But, to have been a Marine, that's pretty bad to the bone. But there's a type of warrior that's even more bad to the bone than a Marine. And then there's one more that's even more bad to the bone than that. And the king of them all is Jesus. Jesus could do things just out of a second thought, not even really thinking about it. Just he could wipe it all out. But anyway, she had to go up there and sit with my aunt for a little while, a few hours. I sat down here. We got up at 8. I should have laid down earlier than I did. I waited till she got back and sat around for a little bit. And then I went and laid down for about an hour. I was going to sleep longer than that. But my bladder woke me up and then I couldn't go back to sleep. So she was getting started making some supper, so I washed some dishes, and all but what we ate out of is now cleaned up and put away. And she cooked us some steak with some sliced taters and green beans. I bet it did, Dale. Trying to keep up with them youngins. Did they wear your ears out asking questions? It was, Dale. That steak was so tender, even I could chew it with my gums.
Yeah, it was those other ribeyes that I bought and had in the freezer. They were good.
Other ribeyes.
Yeah, I had bought them not this month, but back last month when I made those Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh.
I got the 4 ribeyes. Well, those were the other 2.
Oh. So we had ribeye.
Yeah.
All I know is it was good. Of course, she's got her eyeballs on a prime rib at Outback coming up this next month.
Yes, I do.
We are going on the 18th, right?
On the 18th.
That'll be our 10-year anniversary.
That's it.
Bye, Mama Bear.
Have a good evening.
Well, thank you. We'll let everybody know when it's closer to time. Never know. I might even take a short or two while we're there. Just don't know. Then again, I might not.
I'm thinking about doing that.
Might at least take a picture.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a little bit of video.
So
I tell you, we've done good. Been together 12 years and married almost 10.
coming up on 10.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be back, folks.
Always, it's just gotta run.
Oh, May. Let's see. As y'all notice, I'm trying to make it where it's not all one thing here. Let's see. I still got 8 of you hanging on. Mama Bear must have had to run for some reason. Evan! I was wondering when and if you might pop in. I may hang on till about 6:30 and then take off. I think Mama Bear left out of it. She put by up there. I'm thinking she had something sudden must have come up for such a short by up there. Oh, I understand that backtrack. I did that before I came live. Steak, sliced taters, and green beans. Yeah, I got that filter off Snapchat of it. Send out a couple of snaps and some close to my circle, and then I send them out to a whole lot of y'all in Messenger. I'm glad I reread that because I first thought you put on there rock. Now, how am I going to eat a rock? But it's rack. Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll be bringing plenty of that home, Mama Linda, because we can't eat much to begin with. We might can get it. I doubt we will, but we could get a single plate and have them bring out smaller plates for us, and we could probably eat off that one plate and still bring a good bit home. I imagine we'll get a couple of different plates and everything. So we'll have a lot to bring home. I guarantee you that. We might eat off of that 2 or 3 days after we eat what we can while we're there. Usually the way it goes. I'm gonna try to wash the car and clean and trim up myself for that day. Try to dress a little nice, what I got to dress nice with. Well, I'll let Elaine decide what she's gonna do with all that, Mama Linda. Once we get down to a certain point. Being out back probably make a server happy with a $20, $30 tip if they earn it. Well, I just don't know what else is going on other than what I already know. But anyhow, here I am anyway. Such as it is. Like me or not, here I am. How come is it we always come back to food? Always. Not a bad thing. Just getting ready for yours. What, supper or anniversary? Either one's good. You eat at both of them. Well, folks, I've slowed down, lost momentum. Oh, you're live. Okay, well, I'm fixing to help you out with that because I'm thinking about going ahead and get off of here because everything's slowed down and really ain't got nothing other than that stuff to talk about. And I don't want to spend the whole time on that. Oh, y'all did y'all's do in fall, huh? Well, that's cool. I'll be looking forward to when it hits. So anyway, think I'm going to call it. Piggy loves you.